Hey you guys, it's 𝔠𝔤𝔞𝔫𝔢. I think for New Year's, a lot of people maybe had the resolution that they wanted to focus on their Twitch a little bit more. So this is basically just any tips that I have regarding like social media, Twitch, growing on social media, stuff like that. What are my biggest tips and what have I found to actually work? I know I look insane right now. While I'm talking, I'm going to be doing my makeup. But before we start, I'm very curious. Who is your favorite Twitch streamer slash like social media personality? I'm very curious to know if you're watching this video, who else you also watch. Pause the video, let me know who your favorite streamer is. This video was very requested, so I guess I'm just gonna hop right into it. When I get the question, how do I grow on Twitch or how do I begin posting on social media? My biggest piece of advice is to start posting on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter is a great place to stay active with your followers because you can post literally any thought you have in your mind. You can constantly stay up to date with people on Twitter, which is extremely important, and I'll explain why in a second. But same goes for Instagram. I mean, personally, I've only post on Instagram about 3 times a week, and I find that's enough for me. I don't like to oversaturate my timeline. I like my videos to kind of marinate on Instagram for a little bit. Get those like initial followers, those initial friends, if you will. You have to make sure that you're connecting with people when you're posting. Like, you can't just post videos and expect people to care. You kind of have to show other creators love as well. Comment on other people's posts, like other people's posts, reply to stories. Staying active not only with posting, but also with talking to other people in your community. So, I'll send those automatic story replies or I'll send a message here and there, but I like to, on my stories, post good morning and I'll say it back. That way you don't have to message everyone back individually, but you're still having those people interact with you, but you don't have the pressure of replying to every single DM. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was if a gaming account follows you. Let's say 𝔠𝔤𝔞𝔫𝔢 follows you on Instagram. Don't be afraid to DM me and say, hey, thank you so much for the follow. My name is X, Y, and Z. It's nice to meet you. And then they'll say, hey, my name is whatever. It's nice to meet you too. And then you can be like, amazing. I go live on Twitch a few days a week. If you ever want to play with me, let me know. Something as small as just asking somebody to come play with you during a live stream can create a loyal friendship. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be anything huge. You don't have to have like big long conversations with people. It's something as small as that can make the difference. Especially if you're looking to make friends, don't be afraid to be the first one to reach out. That would be my biggest piece of advice. Or another thing you can say is if people follow you, go into the conversation, hey, my name is 𝔠𝔤𝔞, it's nice to meet you. Let me know if you want any of my other social links. I'm active on Twitter a lot. You want to direct them to the place where they can see you the most. You go 1 week without posting and it's almost like people forget about you. There's always going to be someone else that they can watch. Just try to direct people in the direction that they will be able to talk to you the most. So somewhere that I do this is in my Discord. I encourage people to message me there instead of DMs, just because I'm not going to get back to people on DMs, and you just have to be honest with people when talking about that kind of stuff. It's just not possible for people on social media to reply to every message or even see every message a lot of the time. So, I direct them to my Discord where I'm active a lot of the time. I would direct people to Twitter because I just recently learned how to use it and to really grow my following on there. I just hit 1,000 followers. So I would direct them to my Twitter, or I would direct them to my Discord, or both, or I would just send them my link tree. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is TikTok. A lot of creators will tell you that TikTok is the best place to grow a following. They'll tell you, oh my gosh, it's so easy to get followers on there. Although it is easy to get those initial followers, you have to think about who's consuming your content. Sure, you might be getting a lot of followers and a lot of views because of your Warzone content, your Call of Duty content, your Fortnite content, or whatever. But you have to also consider the fact that people on TikTok don't know what Twitch is. It's very hard to get somebody who enjoys watching TikTok to come over to a 3+ hour stream on Twitch, which is totally fine, but it's not going to grow your Twitch platform. So definitely use TikTok to grow your social media. You can create great relationships with brands on TikTok. You can get paid on there, sponsorships, whatnot. Like, definitely grow your TikTok. But if you're specifically looking for people to follow your Twitch, that's not what's gonna work for you. There's this app called Hover. If you're on your computer, it's called hover.gg. On your phone, it's just the Hover app. It is TikTok, except for it's made by streamers for people who are already watching Twitch streams. Let's say I go on Hover and I repost my TikTok. That TikTok is only gonna be seen by people who already know what Twitch is. Your videos are reaching people who are actually gonna visit your Twitch stream. You're gonna see actual growth on your Twitch account, which I think is really, really cool. And the link to that will be in the description below if you want to check it out. But I would highly suggest, if you're looking to grow on Twitch, to download Hover. Just repost your TikToks on Hover. You can grow both at the same time. That's what a lot of people do. It's what I do. I can do another in-depth video about Hover. If you guys want that, just let me know in the description. In the comment box below. And kind of just to go back to the idea of Twitter is huge. Once I learned how to use Twitter, I was able to connect with so many more people. I mean, you can even just look at my Twitter and see what kind of posts have worked for me. Twitter is really great because you can at certain brands. You can at Twitch, you can at Hover, you can at me, you can at anyone. If you can get a brand or a platform or a streamer to respond, quote, tweet, retweet, even like your tweet, it allows your Twitter to gain so much exposure. And I had no idea. How often is your name seen with a piece of content that resonates with a viewer or another content creator? That's what you have to think about. So if you see something on your timeline, don't be afraid to respond to it. Don't be afraid to quote tweet it, retweet it. Having consistent relationships or conversations with people online is what I have found has made the biggest difference for me. And it's the way I met some of like my greatest friends online. The next thing I want to talk about was YouTube. YouTube is the hub of all apps pretty much. You have YouTube live streams, you have YouTube videos, you have YouTube shorts, which are basically TikToks. You can post pictures on your timeline. It's with like basically Instagram. And if you go look at my shorts, they go crazy. I only have 400 subscribers. And I think one of my shorts has like more than 20,000 views. If you guys have the time to create content or just even repost your TikToks and YouTube shorts, even if you can't get people from YouTube to your Twitch, it gives your Twitch viewers something to watch while you're away, which I think is really important. And like I said, it's all about making sure you're not forgotten, staying consistent, making sure people are constantly seeing your name. They want to be able to see you even on your days off. Okay, so then when we're talking about an actual Twitch stream, so when you guys are asking me, Jill, how do I actually, like, what do I do on Twitch? I don't understand. How do you constantly talk to everybody? How are people in your chat before you even go live? And the thing is you have to set a schedule. People need to schedule your Twitch stream into their day, especially if they really care about talking to you and seeing you. They will be there. And especially if you're making friends online, they're gonna want to show up during those few hours that you go live. And make sure you're posting your schedule in your Discord, on your Instagram, on your Twitter. I mean, it all goes back to making sure people know where you are, when you're there, and when to show up. Another thing I wanted to talk about is if you're a live streamer on Twitch, it's extremely important to set goals. You really want to focus on creating reasonable, very realistic goals that you know that you're gonna hit. I'm at 40 average viewers and I've been sitting there for a few months. My next goal isn't gonna be hitting partner. I wouldn't make my goal partner until I'm already at 75 average views, and then I would start my push to partner. You know what I mean? You need to set reasonable, very realistic, achievable goals. Another thing I wanted to talk about when we're kind of discussing being on Twitch, when you're on Twitch, if time allows you to, try to, after every stream, thank the people who are chatting in your stream. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for the host. Any streamer can sit there and, you know, a notification comes up, so-and-so hosted the channel. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting the channel. You know, anyone can do that, but it takes a little bit more effort, and it means more when you reach out to those people privately after the stream. It makes you feel better. It's how I've met some of my best friends, is just privately messaging them after a stream to thank them for being there. Little things like that can go a very long way. I mean, there's many times where I've messaged people and I've been like, hey, like, thank you so much for coming in with the raid. It was so nice talking to you and so nice meeting you. Like, I hope that I get to talk to you soon. And they've replied with, wow, a streamer has never messaged me before. It's those very, very small things that might not feel like a lot to the streamer, but that means a lot to the people that are viewing it. It's not a small thing for somebody to sit there with you for hours. That is a big thing. It's definitely not something to take for granted. There's so many other people that they could be spending their time with. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was making your stream unique, which obviously, if you're on social media, you hear that all the time. If you've ever asked anybody for advice on Twitch, they're gonna be like, make sure your stream is unique, make sure it's different, make sure you're doing something different. And while, like, yeah, obviously, like, we can't all just be sitting here staring at a screen and playing video games and getting thousands of views, but different and unique doesn't always have to be big and spectacular and crazy and loud. Something different can just be bringing your outside interest into the stream. I talk about those things that I love to do outside of the stream. Sometimes it's little things, just like emotes. Creating an emote of a common phrase. For myself, it's wow, eh? You know, that's something I say a lot, and that's something that's unique to me, and it's not something that's crazy or loud or big. It's something small, but it's something that people are able to resonate with me. Creating stickers that are funny or that are of inside jokes. Little things like that create those connections that people aren't gonna forget. And the next thing I wanted to talk about, I feel like is very, very important, and it is set clear boundaries for myself and for the stream. So this means don't let people call you names that make you feel uncomfortable. For example, you don't let people call me hot or sexy in the stream. It's just something that makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like to be sexualized in my live streams. So, you know, me and my mods will say it's okay to say pretty, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, funny, smart. Set those boundaries. And don't allow people to push those boundaries just because they're a friend or they've been there for a while. Set your boundaries and reinforce your boundaries no matter what. Stick true to your values and to who you are, to the values of your stream and your community. The people that are meant to be there will be there. Another thing that I wanted to talk about while you're actually live streaming, while you're actually live on Twitch, is to continue to stay active with your chat. I mean, have you ever walked into a stream and they just haven't said a word to you and you're sitting in chat for like 5 minutes, you've said hello, you've dropped an emo, and they're just not paying you any mind? If you're not the best Warzone player, nobody's gonna care to sit in your stream and watch you be mediocre at a game. If you can't connect with the people who are in your chat and you're not an amazing player, nobody's gonna care. And I am so sorry. That might hurt a lot of people's feelings. Like, I don't know. I feel like people aren't honest enough though. Like, there's been so many times where I've walked in and they didn't give me any mind and they weren't that good and it gave me no reason to stay. If you're not the best player, you have to make up for it in some other way, even if it's not just talking to the chat. If it's just being funny, letting out funny death comms, or like, you know, you have to find something that's a little bit more than just playing the game. Another thing I wanted to talk about was playing a variety of games. When I say playing a variety of games, they can all be like first-person shooter games like Fortnite, Apex, Warzone. For the longest time, I would refuse to play any other game except for Warzone. It became like a safe place for me. I knew how to play the game. I could talk to chat while I played. I'm not that bad at the game, so it made it really, really easy to not want to do anything else. I want you to pause the video and go to twitch.com. Go into the Fortnite category. Click on some streams where they have maybe 30, 25, 40, 15 viewers. So many current partnered streamers got partnered playing Fortnite when it was extremely popular. Okay, so when Fortnite like first came out, or it first got super, super popular on Twitch, obviously everybody was watching it. It was super popular. But then, you know, Warzone came out and less people were watching Fortnite. And then Battlefield came out and less people were watching Fortnite. And so now you see all of these people who used to average hundreds of viewers averaging only about 20. That doesn't mean that they aren't a great streamer. It doesn't mean that they don't provide great content, that they're not good at the game. It's the fact that there's not enough people watching for all of those people to have high amounts of views. I mean, now that nobody's playing Warzone, you might find that a lot of these people are gaining more viewers again, and maybe they're hitting their partner numbers again. But it's very, very rare that you find a streamer who only plays one game and consistently and will always have those big partner numbers. Playing one game won't be sustainable. And that is something I've even had to learn myself while playing Warzone. I mean, when 𝔠𝔢𝔩𝔫𝔢 started taking a shit, it was like nobody cared anymore. I didn't even care about playing the game. So I need to start moving on and trying some other things. Nobody watches Phasmophobia, and I have more viewers playing Phasmo than I do playing Warzone. And it really just goes to show how playing a variety of games can have such a positive impact on your stream. And there's actually another reason why streamers enjoy playing a variety of different games. Let me finish up my eyeliner over here and I'll tell you. The reason why people enjoy playing a variety of games is because when you stream a variety of different games, you know, your content isn't reliant on playing Warzone, for example, people begin to care a lot more about the actual streamer. Maybe that's what happened with these Fortnite streamers as well. Like, maybe people just really, really enjoyed watching the gameplay, but then they didn't actually care about the person who was streaming. You know, maybe that person wasn't interesting. They weren't talking about themselves. They weren't, you know, invested in creating those relationships. I feel like that will provide more long-term success than just playing one game and being really good at that one game. And lastly, while I finish up my makeup here, let's talk about the harsh realities of being a content creator / like Twitch streamer or whatever you want to be or whatever you want to call yourself. So on social media, I think it's a given. I think that we all know this, but it's always a great thing to kind of touch on anyways. There's always going to be people who are going to bully you, who are going to tell you that you're shit, that you're trash, that nobody cares about you, your voice is annoying, you're bad at the game, you're ugly. There's always gonna be people who have something negative to say. And you just have to learn to fucking let it roll off your back. You cannot listen to what these people say. At the end of the day, if you're happy with the content that you're creating and you're making friends and you're creating those relationships, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to reach your goal, or it doesn't matter how long it takes you to become a partner streamer or whatever. As long as you're content, let those comments roll off your back. You think that the Dan Dangler doesn't have haters? You think that FaZe Kaylee, the best woman in Warzone, doesn't have haters? No matter how good of a creator you are, no matter how good of a gamer you are, no matter what you do, no matter how beautiful you are, there's always gonna be a bully, a hater, and just let that shit roll off your back. Let it fuel you to do even better, but don't let it hurt you. Even if maybe you feel the same way about yourself as these haters do towards you, pretend that you're better than you think you are. The only way to become the person you want to be is practicing being that person. Another harsh reality is you're gonna have low numbers. You're gonna have really bad days on Twitch. There's gonna be days nobody shows up for you. There's gonna be days that maybe even your mods don't show up for you. Maybe your best friend doesn't show up for you. Nobody hosts the channel. Nobody gifts a sub. Nobody subscribes. Nobody follows you. There's gonna be days, and there's gonna be days where people just can't be there for you. Just like some days you're not going to be able to be on stream. Some days that's going to feel really fucking shitty. You're going to see your viewer count and you're going to think, fuck, what am I doing wrong? Like, literally, I'm trying so hard. What's wrong with me? Is it something I said? Am I not funny? Am I not good? And it's okay to feel those things. But the important part of that is you just have to remind yourself that not every day is going to be a good day and you're just going to have to move on. It's all a matter of shrugging it all off, picking yourself up, trying again, trying harder, staying consistent, and also rewarding your good days. Reward yourself when you have a good day. Reward yourself for the 100 followers, for the 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. Celebrate every milestone. Celebrate every little thing, because why not? You always see those people with the 100,000 balloons and the 1 million balloon. Girl, get yourself a 100 balloon. Celebrate every little milestone, and those hard days, those bad days, it won't mean anything when you're celebrating all of the little things. That's what I think. As well, I wanted to talk about comparing yourself to others. We all do it. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I do it every single day. But there's a big difference between comparing yourself to others and wanting to be somebody else. I think a lot of people struggle with comparison and wanting to be more like other people on social media. Although you might both have blonde hair and you might both have started at the same time and you guys might both have the same follower base or have the same group of friends online. Like, just because all of those things are the same doesn't mean that it's okay for you to compare your metrics to them, or your analytics to them, your likes to theirs, your viewers to theirs, your followers to theirs. You are two different people experiencing two completely different lives with completely different responsibilities. Although it feels like you need to compare yourself to that person, you really don't. It goes the other way as well. Like, you're looking at this person, looking at all of their numbers, their followers, their viewers, but then they're also looking at you thinking they're doing this, they're doing all of that, they're doing it all at the same time, and they're doing so well, while you're being crushed by the thought that you're not doing as well as them. And I think that's why I like to talk about it so much, is because it's something I struggled with for a very, very long time. But it doesn't help. Spend so much time worrying about your own craft, your own stream, your own content, that you forget that others exist. Oh, and one more thing that I wanted to talk about that's on my list before I get into specific questions that you guys asked. This idea that women who play video games cannot be hot or beautiful or sexy. When I first started, I refused to get a camera. I refused to post a picture of myself. I refused to sometimes even turn on my mic. And it was because I didn't want people to credit my success to how pretty I was. That does happen a lot. You see it all the time. Oh, well, she only has viewers because she's beautiful. And like, yeah, sure. It helps a lot. It helps to be a pretty girl. It helps to be beautiful. It helps to be smart and funny. It helps to have a cute background and all this kind of stuff. But you know how much work you put into the stream. You know that you're putting 24 hours a day in, 24 hours, 7 days a week. No matter how many comments you get that are saying, oh, you're only successful because you're a girl, you're only successful because you're pretty, you have to continue to remind yourself that your success is based off of the work that you put in. You think that I could just sit here and be pretty, but also be a freaking idiot and be horrible at the game and people would still care? You think I could be a bad friend but be pretty and it makes up for it? Definitely not. You're allowed to be a very hard, successful, hardworking woman. You're allowed to be good at video games and smart and analytical while being hot and pretty and sexy. I don't know if that made sense. Let me know if it did. But I don't know. I feel like I struggled with that for a long time. So let's move on to some of the questions I got on my Instagram. I don't think anyone asked me anything on Twitter, but we did get a few questions on Instagram. So one question is, how many disgusting messages do you get, unsolicited pictures and things like that? And that is a great question. Honestly, I feel like I've done a really good job at creating boundaries for myself and letting people know from the get-go that I'm not accepting explicit messages, unsolicited messages, comments about my body, or anything like that in stream and outside of stream. So I haven't personally dealt with that many times before, but I mean, it has happened. And I think in those times it's important to just block and delete. And then also, I mean, I do this. I usually take, like, if somebody says something like completely out of pocket or something that makes me uncomfortable, I screenshot it and I put it on my story and I say, no, you're not going to talk to me this way. And I make sure everybody knows the kind of shit that I don't tolerate. And I think it's important to do that. Maybe that person might feel embarrassed, but I mean, you've already made your boundaries clear. And if that makes them embarrassed, then that is their own fault. They shouldn't be sending unsolicited, unprovoked, out-of-pocket messages to you. It's important to establish boundaries and maintain them and speak out when those boundaries are not being maintained or people are pushing them. And somebody asked, how do you not get burnt out? And that's actually an amazing question. How do you reduce burnout? How do you consistently stay online and stick to a schedule and all of those kinds of things? So number one is creating a schedule that you know is going to allow you to function as a human being. So for myself, in the summer, that's 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 till 6. And that works for me when I'm not in school and I'm not working. While I'm in school, I do 3 days a week. On those 3 days, I do 3 to 4 hours. That's just something that I've learned that's worked for me. And in addition to that, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I make sure people know I'm not going to be answering DMs. I'm not going to reply to your DMs. You can't expect me to reply to your comments on my posts. And I make it very, very clear when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm feeling a little too overstimulated. And I just really set those boundaries for myself from the start, or I've tried to. And I think that's helped a lot, even just turning my notifications off and waiting a day to reply to comments, or waiting a day to check my DMs, or not checking them at all. Being on social media, it's very, very hard not to constantly be on. I can be on TikTok for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I can be going through on Instagram and liking people's posts and commenting and replying all of the time. But after a while, you're not going to want to reply to a single comment for another week. So I really try to schedule everything out. I say I'll do 3 streams a week, 3 hours on those 3 days. I'm not replying to comments. I'm not replying to DMs. And that's something that works for me. And I mean, it takes time for a lot of people to figure out what works for them. And for some people, they just don't get tired. They just don't get burnout, and they can do it all, and they're superheroes. And I feel like a lot of us wish we could be that way, but it's not like a real thing for a lot of people. And just be kind to yourself. If you need a break, take a break. Thank you guys for listening. Those are all of my tips. Those are the things that I've learned in the past 15 months on Twitch and on social media. If you guys have questions about anything I didn't talk about today, or questions about things I did talk about today, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to do another video like this. I'm working on getting a better camera, so hopefully it'll be better quality the next time around. The biggest thing that I want you guys to know, and if you only learn one thing from this video, is to be kind to yourself, set boundaries for yourself, take your time, and celebrate the little things. That is the most important thing about being online and being on social media. I mean, as long as you're having fun with it, it will never feel like work. And I think that's really, really, really cool. So yeah, like I said, comment down below who your favorite Twitch streamer is. I'm very curious. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Let me know if you liked this or cared at all. And I would love to do it again, or talk about anything else. Anything, literally anything, leave it in the comments and we'll figure it out. And until next time, you guys, peace out from me, Jillian. Mwah. Bye.